Welcome to our new episode. My name is Rose Wanyoike and this is Growth and Healing Space. And in today's episode, we'll be looking at the key elements in upbringing and their influence on the identity of a man. Stay tuned. A man's upbringing profoundly affects the character of a man, his values, and how he views things. From childhood, our environment, the influence of our caregivers, and also our experiences really shapes our identity, how we see things, what are our values, our perception on things. And there are key elements that we'll be looking at on the life of a person and their influence in shaping their identity. So what is the influence of family environment on the identity of a person? You find that when we were looking at the identity of a person, we found that environment is one of the factors that shapes their identity, the people surrounding him. And this has to do, under the family, it has to do with the family members, the caregivers, how they respond to things, how they react to things. It shapes the minds of those children, that maybe if they in case get to encounter such a thing, they will respond in the same way they saw their caregivers, they saw their parents responding. So it's very, very important that as caregivers, as parents, that we should create a positive environment, an environment that instills good maybe conflict resolution skills, how we relate with people, how we manage disagreements in the family. Because if we do not really check on that and ensure that we provide the best of the best solutions to our problems, that problem will be carried to our generation, to the next generation, because they would not have been taught what it really means to create an environment that fosters the correct and an authentic identity. Another thing we are still on the upbringing is our cultural and societal norms. They really also influence our identity. Maybe what are our traditions, what are our customs, what are our beliefs. It shapes whom we are. So for example, if you come from a family where maybe they believe that man is the provider of the family, those children will grow knowing that man is the provider. But then if it is the vice versa, maybe it's the woman who provides, the mother who provides for the family, they will grow knowing that way. So our norms and tradition really shapes the identity of the children, the identity of those whom we are bringing up. So this tells us that we should be careful on the traditions that we introduce in our family, because if they are not healthy, they will create the unhealthiness in the children that we are bringing up. Another thing is emotional and psychological development. Now here we ask ourselves, do we really create an environment where people can express themselves without the fear of being judged? They can express their feelings, they can express their emotions without fear of being judged. Because if we are in a setup where you cannot be able to express your feelings, to express your emotion, maybe to state your ideas, your opinions on things, you find that you are going to bring up people who are not emotionally intelligent. They are not able to govern or to be in control of their emotions. And this tells us that even as we mentor people, as parents, as we bring up our children, we should create an environment where they can express themselves freely without being judged. Because the more we judge them, it distorts their identity. They feel like they are not supposed to express themselves, so they live in bondage of not being able to express what they really feel, and that distorts their identity. Another thing to also on the upbringing that influences the identity of a man is education and exposure. So you find that, for example, in a formal education setup, you see that schools and the educators, the teachers, they play a critical role in bringing up the children and also teaching them discipline, teamwork, and critical thinking. Also, in our extracurricular activities like the sports, the arts, or the community service, it helps people to discover their passions, develop teamwork, leadership, and creativity. So this education, how much a person is exposed in terms of education, in terms of maybe extracurricular activities, it instills him with new values, instills him with new passions, still instills him with a new ways of approaching things, new ways of approaching things, and also it gives them an exposure of getting new ideas, new opinions that builds them to be a more well-equipped person in their areas of experience. Another thing still on upbringing, it's our the spiritual and the moral foundations. In the last episode, we spoke at what does the Bible says about the identity of a man. So the morals, the spiritual aspect, it instills good morals, good values, which fosters good rapport with people, good relationships with people, and hence creating a peaceful society, people coexisting peacefully, and also people are able to model good values, those of kindness, those of love, humility, hence promoting that good cohesiveness in the society. So for parents to foster positive upbringing in our students, we must ensure that we are the role models. What we want to see in our children, we must also ensure that it exists in us. Because you cannot give what you do not have. If you want good behaviors in your children, good morals, you must also ensure that you yourself, you have it. You have created an environment for those behaviors, those values, those morals to be developed in the children. Also, upbringing lays the foundation of man's character, values, and how they view things. Positive influences such as nurturing a relationship, moral guidance, and diverse opportunities encourages holistic development. So as mentors, as parents, we must always look at the environment that we are creating for those who we are bringing up, because that environment will really shape whom they are, the ideas that we give them, the opinions, how we behave, how we react to things. We should be very, very careful. Yeah. So we have seen what is the role of upbringing and its influence on the identity of a person. So this tells us that we should create a good environment for bringing up our children so that we can have the desired results that we want to see in them. So I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.